I've been running freight through the Appalachian corridor for over 2 decades, and I've seen just about everything these mountains can throw at a man. Fog so thick you'd swear the whole mountain swallowed you, but nothing prepared me for that night, honestly. It was late October. I was eastbound on US 421, snaking through the ridges outside Buckner Hollow, just north of Boone. The stretch there is tight, narrow lanes pressed between rock faces and steep drop-offs. Truckers call it the spine, because one bad move and you'll snap yours on the rocks below. Around 1:45 a.m., the CB alive with static. That wasn't unusual. Mountains chew signals into garbled noise. But in the middle of that fuzz, clear as a knife, came a single word: help, or maybe hello. It was hard to tell. Either way, it froze me. It wasn't some drawn-out mayday, no panicked call. Just that one word, flat, broken, like whoever said it didn't have enough air left for more. I scanned the shoulder ahead. Everything inside me told me to keep rolling. But habit made me lean into the CB. Breaker 19, you copy? Who's out here on 421? Silence, static, then nothing. That's when I rounded the bend and saw the rig. A semi sat dead center across both lanes like a barricade. Chrome grille glinting in my high beams. Engine idling low. Driver's side door opened. I slowed, inching up. The whole scene looked wrong. Coffee thermos balanced on the dash. Steam still curling from the mouth. Jacket draped across the seat like somebody had just slipped it off. No driver in sight. No hazard triangles set out. Just empty mountain road and that open door sucking in the night. I should have thrown it in reverse and backed the hell out of there. But truckers don't leave other truckers stranded. So I pulled to a stop 30 feet back, hazards flashing. That's when the hair on my arms went electric. The gravel along the shoulder was chewed to hell. 3, maybe 4 different sets of fresh tire marks. Jagged and desperate, like vehicles had swerved in all directions right here, and none of them matched the parked semi's tread. It felt like I was staring at a crime scene, except whatever had gone down wasn't finished yet. Driver, I called. You good? You in there? Nothing. I climbed the step, leaned into the cab. Oh God, it's empty, coffee steaming. Jacket waiting. Logbook open to a page half scribbled. Keys still in the ignition, but no damn driver. That's when I heard it again. Almost a whisper carried on the CB, still clipped to his dash. Help. Except this time it wasn't coming from the radio. It was outside, somewhere behind me. I spun, flashlight into the trees. For a split second I swore I caught movement shifting between the trunks just out of reach. Who's out there? I barked. I wasn't asking anymore. Silence. Then a crunch of gravel to my left. I dropped back down off the step, hand going to the tire iron I keep with me. I'm no hero, but I'll be damned if I let something drag me off without a fight. That's when I saw shadows slipping from the tree line. 3, maybe 4 of them, too tall and too still to be ordinary men. Their outlines wrong against the dark. And then, in perfect unison, they stopped, not 10 yards from me. Just standing in the beams of my hazards, staring. I tightened my grip on the iron, heart pounding hard enough to drown out the idling engine. What the hell do you want? I shouted, harsher than I meant. They didn't answer. Like they were waiting for me to step closer. That's when survival kicked in. I wasn't sticking around to be the next driver that vanished. I backed up slow, reached my cab, climbed in, slammed the door, locked it. As I fired the engine, I caught one last look in my mirrors. I saw something that turned my blood cold. The driver, or what was left of him, slumped against the rear wheels, half in shadow, staring straight at me, his mouth still forming that one broken word, help. I floored it, I know how close. I came to being the one who didn't make it out. I've been trucking most of my life. And that night I learned about the other kind of danger, the kind that waits for you in the trees. It was about 2 in the morning, late September, hauling a load of tools and gear for a mining contractor out of Kentucky into West Virginia. Dispatch had me cutting through a stretch near Coalwood Balls, not far from Welch. If you don't know the name, that's because most folks don't go there unless they were born there. It's old mining country, all shut down, towns hollowed out, roads left to rot. You don't stop out there unless you've got no other choice. Even then, you pray you don't have to. The night was dead quiet. My eyes were burning from the run, but I wasn't tired enough to stop. Hell no. Stopping out there would have been asking for trouble. And in that moment, something I noticed. There were at least 6 of them lined up along the tree line, just standing there. They weren't waving for help. I tightened my grip on the wheel. The hell were they doing out here? At 2 a.m.? No cars parked. No houses within miles. Just people in the woods staring at me as I rolled past. You don't see 6, 7 people lined up like that in the middle of nowhere unless it's planned. And whatever they were planning, it didn't include wishing me a safe drive. I downshifted, kept my speed steady. Didn't want to spook them. Didn't want to show fear either. Just rolled past like I hadn't seen a damn thing. And then just after a few meters ahead, I saw the body. Right there in the center of the road, a man, or at least it looked like a man, sprawled face up. Arms spread, one leg twisted. Every instinct screamed at me to stop. You see someone down in the road, you check if they're alive. That's the rule. But the figures they just watched. And it hit me, this wasn't an accident. This was bait. I eased off the throttle, heart banging in my chest. The body didn't move. The people in the trees didn't move. And I swear to God, I knew damn well if I stepped out of that cab, I wouldn't be stepping back in. I made my choice. I dropped into gear and eased to the left, just enough to clear the body without hitting it. My rig groaned as I hugged the shoulder. My headlights washed across the body as I passed, and that's when the bastard moved. Oh my God, he sat up, head rolling toward me, eyes catching the beam. And then he stood. Just stood there in my mirror, watching me roll away. And then the others stepped forward from the tree line, one by one, until they stood in the road behind me. At least 10 of them, maybe more. All lined up, all watching my taillights vanish down the highway. I didn't breathe until I hit a main junction 20 miles later. Pulled into a lit gas station, hands shaking. I sat there for a long time, staring into the dark mirror of the window, replaying what I'd seen. That body hadn't been hurt. That body had been playing dead, waiting for me to stop. And if I'd stepped out, crouched down to check for a pulse, they'd have swarmed me. I wouldn't be here telling this story. Figures in those deep woods, usually setting the trap. Some roads in the Appalachians don't want you passing through, and some folks out there don't want you leaving. My name's Guy David Morales, and I've been running the highways in a rig since I was 21 years old. I don't tell this story often because, frankly, most people don't believe me. Sometimes I don't even believe myself. But the night I drove the sole I-77 stretch near Fancy Gap, Virginia, I came face to face with something that didn't belong in this world. Let me take you exactly back to that date. It was October 12th, 1998 Mo. I was hauling a load of consumer electronics from Charlotte up through the mountains, bound for Pittsburgh. That stretch of I-77, any trucker worth his salt knows it's treacherous. Fog so thick you feel like you're driving through milk. I had clear weather leaving Charlotte, but by the time I hit Fancy Gap, the mist was rolling in hard. It was pushing close to 3 in the morning. My favorite time to drive. Quiet roads. I just radioed dispatch at 2:30 a.m. to check in, let them know all was good. My speed was steady, about Kyaksi Malkar, not a soul in sight. Then I saw him, a figure standing on the shoulder. Thumb out, hitchhiker. Now, most folks might not think much of it, but when you've been driving as long as I have, your gut tells you when something's wrong. And this, oh God, this wasn't right. We were height miles from the nearest town. The fog thick as soup. Temperature cold enough that anyone standing out there in work clothes would have been freezing. The man didn't shift, didn't wave, didn't look nervous. He just stood there, thumb out, head tilted slightly, like he knew I was coming. I kept rolling, muttered under my breath, "No chance, buddy," and pushed on. But a mile up the road, I checked my mirror. Habit, you know? And my stomach dropped, because there he was, ahead of me again. I gripped the wheel so hard. I knew what I'd seen. I'd just passed him, and there was no vehicle, no shortcut, no way in hell he could have gotten ahead of me. But there he was. Same clothes, same dead still stance. Thumb out again. Oh God, what the hell? I muttered, flipping my CB to reach anyone in the area. All I got was static. I blew past him again, heart pounding. This time I kept my eyes locked on the mirrors, scanning for headlights, for anything. But the road stayed empty. And then, oh Jesus, there he was again. This time he wasn't on the shoulder. He was on the rig in the middle of the damn highway, standing motionless in the center lane, staring me down. I swerved hard into the left lane, the Peterbilt's tires screaming, the trailer rocking dangerously. When my headlights cut across him, I finally saw his face. His skin wasn't right. It was pale, waxy, almost glowing in the fog. His clothes looked decades old, and his eyes, oh God, his eyes. Nothing but black. No whites. When I passed him, everything in the truck went haywire. The dashboard lit up, radio shrieking, lights flickering. Then everything went dark. Headlights gone, CB dead, dash blacked out. I was barreling down a mountain road in total darkness, I'll admit it. I screamed. A trucker with decades on the road screaming like a kid. I don't know how long I drove like that, but finally, in my mirror, I saw headlights. Another truck, catching up. I slammed the hazards, pumping the brakes in signal. The rig slowed behind me, and I all but forced him to pull off at the next emergency turnout. The driver's name was Richard Chan, an independent hauler out of Roanoke. When I told him what I'd seen, he went pale. He hadn't believed it at first until we both looked up. There he was again. The figure, standing dead center on the overpass half a mile ahead, watching us, arms at his sides this time, just staring down. Richard whispered, "You seeing this too?" "I see it," I said. We rolled slowly toward the overpass and floored away. Later that morning, when we reported it at the Withville way station, the trooper just nodded grimly. He'd heard it before, said truckers had been seeing the same man for years. A hitchhiker killed back in 1976, right there on Mountain. Name was Ronald Moore, a construction worker trying to get home after his car broke down. A semi hit him in the fog, scattered his body across the highway. When they showed me Moore's old photo, I felt the blood drain from my face. It was him. The same man, down to the hair, the shirt, the boots. Some drivers say if you stop for him, you never get back on the road again. Others say he's looking for the trucker who killed him, confused and angry, trapped between here and whatever comes after. My name's Sarah Michaels. That happened to me outside Norton, Virginia. People love to talk about ghosts on these roads, but I'll tell you what. There's something worse than any phantom, and that's a living, breathing predator who knows exactly how to wait for you when you're at your most worn down. And that night, March of 2003, I met one. I'd been hauling refrigerated produce out of North Carolina all day, working my way up US Route 23. It was near midnight when I finally saw the glow of Rocky Hollow Truck Plaza. In the distance, a battered old stop sitting low in the valley with its faded red sign. My logbook was screaming for a break, and my eyes felt numb. That stretch of 23 through the foothills is narrow and winding, nothing but black ridges on both sides, no houses for miles. You'd think the plaza would feel like relief. Instead, the moment I rolled off the exit and saw how half the lot lights were out, the road cracked and sinking, a line of rigs sitting in the shadows. Still, I told myself, you're just tired. Truckers don't have the luxury of being choosy about where we stop. If you're running the hills, you take what you get. I eased into a space near the back, away from the pumps, killed the engine, and let the silence swallow me. My trailer creaked in the cool mountain air. I grabbed my thermos and thought maybe I'd stretch my legs before checking the reefer unit. That's when I felt it. Eyes. On me. Truckers know the feeling, that prickly gut-deep sense when you're being watched. It was quiet out there, too quiet. But I swear to God I felt someone nearby, waiting. I did a slow sweep of the lot, saw the old diner building with its dark windows, saw a beat-up Ford pickup parked crooked near the service bays, saw nothing else. "Relax, Sarah," I muttered. "You're cooked. Brain's making ghosts." I checked my trailer anyway, running a hand along the latches, and that's when I saw the lock was scratched up. Bad. My stomach dropped. Now, it could have been from a past stop, sure, but I knew damn well I checked that latch before I left. It hadn't looked like this. I pulled my phone from my pocket, thumb hovering over the dispatcher's number. Before I could dial, I heard the crunch of gravel behind me. I spun. Oh my God, and there he was, tall, lean, pale as chalk under the half-dead floodlights. His clothes looked like they belonged in another decade. Flannel shirt tucked into work jeans, a trucker's cap pulled low. His smile wasn't right, too wide, too fixed, and in his right hand was a hunting knife. "Well now," he said softly, "look what I found. Little lady out here, my throat locked up. Back off. I've been watching you since you pulled in. Knew you'd be worth the wait." He stepped closer, blade catching the light. I wanted to run, but where? I had the trailer at my back, nothing but black lot beyond. So I did the only thing I could. I hit dial, put the phone to my ear, and forced calm into my voice. "Hey, dispatch," I said. "Yeah, I'm just checking my load at Rocky Hollow." "Everything's good." The man's grin faltered just a hair. "Oh," he drawled. "Calling for help, huh? Think someone's coming to save you?" He raised the knife point, catching my reflection. "Ain't nobody gonna hear you out here." My eyes flicked past him, spotted the tire iron I kept wedged behind the step. I shifted, slow, keeping the phone to my ear. "Dispatch, I got some scratches on the trailer lock. Can you log that for me?" He laughed low and cold. "Ain't that cute? Talking. But you and me, we're gonna have ourselves a different kind of log tonight." My skin crawled. "What do you want?" He licked his lips, stepped closer until I could smell the sour sweat rolling off him. "Want I take. Always have. Drivers like you, alone, tired, thinking the world's safe 'cause you're big behind that wheel. But out here, away from the road, you're mine." "Not tonight," I whispered. He lunged. I yanked the tire iron free and swung with everything I had. The steel connected with his forearm, and the knife clattered onto the ground. He howled. "You bitch!" he screamed, grabbing my arm, trying to wrench the iron away. We grappled there in the shadows, boots slipping on the ground, breath steaming in the cold. He was stronger, wiry, and wild, but adrenaline turned me into something else entirely. I brought my knee up hard, caught him in the gut, broke his grip long enough to swing again. The iron hit across his shoulder. He staggered, cursing, eyes black with rage. "You don't know who you're messing with," he spat. "I've been doing this a long time." The words froze my blood. He wasn't bluffing. This wasn't his first time. Then in that moment of terror, sirens wailed in the distance. Sheriff's deputies drawn by my dispatcher call. The man, Marcus Weller, I'd later learn his name was. His face twisted. "This ain't over," he hissed. Then he bolted, sprinting across the lot into the tree line beyond. I stood there shaking, tire iron still raised, heart hammering like it had burst. The deputies roared in minutes later, 2 cruisers fishtailing into the lot. I shouted, pointed toward the woods. They went after him. It didn't take long. They caught him 2 miles down a service road, along with wallets and IDs that didn't belong to him. I gave my statement in the back of a cruiser. The deputies told me straight. He'd been stalking truck stops up and down the Appalachians, waiting for drivers like me. He wasn't just a thief. He was a hunter. They hauled him off that night in cuffs. Marcus Weller. I kept the tire iron. Still carry it for the hard time.